with Big Mo. Oh, man.
Christopher, you ready?
Are you going to keep boxing? Yeah. You really love this shit, huh?
The moment Jake Paul stepped into that ring, everything was about to fall apart. What happened next wasn't just a fight gone wrong. It was Anthony Joshua delivering the kind of reality check that shattered everything. And when the dust settled, Logan Paul's complete breakdown made the knockout look tame.
Incredible!
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand. Gets clipped again.
This whole disaster started with promises that were way too big. Jake Paul taking on Anthony Joshua wasn't just bold anymore, it was being sold like some kind of historic upset waiting to happen. But the second that bell rang, the fantasy died, and what replaced it was a nightmare that kept getting worse. Not just for Jake in the ring, but for Logan watching it all crumble. What we witnessed wasn't just some knockout, this was ego meeting concrete, family drama exploding live, and a meltdown that millions couldn't look away from.
I just pissed him off, then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, he's his jaw's flat. Yeah? He don't care though, Jake's having a fucking blast.
But here's where it really started going wrong. Weeks before they even touched gloves, Logan Paul was already acting like the victory party was planned. Every interview, every social media post, every ringside moment, Logan kept hammering the same message over and over. Anthony Joshua was washed up, overrated, and ready to be taken. He was literally calling rounds before the fight even existed. That phrase legacy ender kept coming up like it was some kind of promise, not just trash talk. Logan wasn't just supporting his brother anymore. He was betting his own credibility on Jake's performance. This had stopped being family support and turned into personal reputation warfare.
Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal tiger.
The buildup became a circus that wouldn't stop. Millions of people tuned in to watch the spectacle grow. Boxing experts kept trying to inject some reality into the situation. They kept saying there's a massive difference between influencer boxing matches and stepping in with a professional heavyweight who's been in there with world champions. But nobody wanted to hear that part. Logan kept doubling down, Jake kept believing the hype, and the Paul brand kept getting louder and louder right up until the moment everything went silent.
It is. Oh, the uppercut, and he took it. Jake Paul took it. Oh, the right hand punch! Oh!
Once the actual fighting started, the difference was painful to watch. Joshua stayed calm, patient, calculated. Jake looked nervous, tight, and completely out of his depth. By the time we hit the later rounds, confidence wasn't even part of the equation anymore. This was just about staying conscious. Joshua put Jake down twice in the 5th round. Clean, hard knockdowns that sucked all the belief right out of the building. Then he did it again in round 6, 2 more times, 4 knockdowns total. At 1 minute 31 seconds into the 6th round, it was finished. Knockout, no arguments, no excuses, just the kind of silence that used to be filled with hype.
Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had, just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant.
The stats told the real story. Jake connected on just 16 punches out of 56 attempts. At this level, that's not competitive. That's a boxing lesson, and the physical damage made it even worse. Jake walked away with a double broken jaw that required immediate surgery. This wasn't some close fight that slipped away at the end. This was a complete mismatch that ended exactly how the professionals predicted it would, and that's when the cameras found Logan.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has me.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean,
Heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
While Jake was being helped out of the ring, Logan completely lost his mind. All that confidence just vanished instantly. The swagger disappeared. Commentators picked up on it immediately. This wasn't just concern for family. This was anger, humiliation, and panic all rolled into one. Logan started lashing out emotionally, visibly pissed off, and it wasn't even at Joshua. He was mad at Jake. In that moment, it looked way less like a worried brother and way more like someone watching their entire public image get destroyed in real time.
He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
That's the uncomfortable part. Logan had been running his mouth for weeks. Now the entire world was watching him eat those words. His trash talk was getting played right next to knockout highlights. His confidence was being replayed next to footage of Jake getting carried away. Millions of people saw it happen live. The Paul brothers weren't controlling the story anymore. They were stuck inside it getting torn apart.
Like, minus the actual victory, obviously, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness.
When they got backstage, things got even more heated. People described Logan yelling, shaking with frustration, completely unable to contain his anger. This wasn't just about a fight loss. This was about getting completely exposed. Anthony Joshua didn't just knock Jake out. He ripped away the curtain on the whole Paul experiment. He showed everyone the difference between heat and reality, and Logan felt it hit him like a truck. The online reaction was absolutely savage. People were making fun of every pre-fight prediction. Analysts were breaking down every failed moment. Boxing commentators finally said what everyone was thinking. Influencer boxing ends when real heavyweights show up. Logan's meltdown went just as viral as the knockout itself. Video clips, memes, and debates completely flooded social media. Some people defended him as just being emotional. Others said it was pure desperation from watching a brand fall apart under pressure.
This YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like, everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer.
A few days passed, and Logan tried to take back control of the narrative. The whole tone shifted completely. No more talking trash, no more making threats. He started calling the knockout a logical result. He admitted the skill difference was real. He praised Jake for lasting as long as he did. He acknowledged the injury was serious. The words sounded calmer, more thought out, but it was already too late. People remembered the shouting, the taunts, the complete breakdown. What made this hit so much harder was the family drama angle. This wasn't just any loss. This was a public brother against brother moment. Logan's anger showed how desperately he needed Jake to win, not for boxing history, but for their image. When Jake fell, Logan fell right with him, and everybody saw it happen clearly.
And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. You know, there's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
This fight is going to be remembered for the knockout, but the aftermath is what really sticks with you. The hype machine broke down, the illusion got shattered, and for the first time in forever, the Paul brothers weren't controlling the spotlight anymore. They were getting burned by it. The second that fight ended, everything started falling apart. Not gradually, not quietly, but instantly. Jake was barely getting up off the canvas when the camera switched to Logan, and you could read it all over his face. This wasn't shock, this was panic mixed with pure fury. His expression wasn't saying, "Is my brother alright?" It was saying this was absolutely not supposed to go like this. And while Jake was getting helped out, jaw shattered, head hanging down, the last thing anybody expected was Logan having a complete public meltdown.
I think the camp wasn't 100%. Is that accurate?
That's kind of what I was gonna ask. Like, do you feel like it was your best camp?
No, I mean, just because, like, I was weighing like 200 pounds when we confirmed the fight.
Logan didn't just look upset either. He looked like someone had just destroyed his master plan without any warning. One moment he's the loudest person in the building. The next he's pacing around, making fists, snapping at everyone near him. Cameras caught him cursing, shaking his head, clearly beyond furious. The energy was intense. This wasn't a supportive big brother moment. This was "you just humiliated me on the biggest possible stage" energy. Millions were watching and Logan didn't care. He had his breakdown anyway.
Was right there. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I did.
That's what made it so uncomfortable, but almost darkly entertaining at the same time. Jake is getting helped out after being dropped 4 times and stopped at 131 of round 6, and Logan looks like he wants to scream, "You had one job." Not at Joshua, not at boxing, at his own brother. Commentators caught it right away. One of them basically said, without directly saying it, "This isn't worry, this is damage control panic." Logan knew exactly what this knockout represented. This wasn't just a loss. This was reputation destruction in high definition.
To get that world-class gas tank, you need like a Sam Calavita. You need like a Nick Curson. You need like these plyometrics experts that who got heart rate monitors on you, and they're checking when your recovery is ready and go.
Yeah.
And you're fucking yeah. You need guys monitoring your recovery, monitoring your heart rate variability, your VO2 max.
For weeks, Logan had been talking like Joshua was completely finished. Like this fight was just setting up the Paul victory tour. He said legacy ender with complete confidence. Now Joshua had ended something, but it wasn't his own legacy. It was the illusion the Paul brothers had been selling for years, and Logan felt it immediately. You could see it in how he couldn't stand still, how he kept gesturing wildly, how he looked less like a brother and more like a manager whose investment just completely crashed.
A guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're gonna fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists.
In the heavyweight division backstage, things didn't get better. If anything, they got way worse. Reports described Logan trembling, yelling, clearly beyond angry, replaying the moment over and over. That line, "You had one job," Jake pretty much said everything, and that's harsh. Because Jake didn't just lose, he connected on only 16 punches out of 56 attempts. He got knocked down 4 times. He left with a double broken jaw and surgery scheduled. And on top of all that physical damage, he had to deal with his brother's rage spilling over everywhere. Public.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.
Then the emotional wreckage really started piling up. Pride got crushed, ego got demolished. Both brothers suddenly found themselves under a microscope they couldn't control. Jake got criticized for taking a fight he had no business being in. Logan got criticized for talking too much and then having a meltdown when reality finally showed up. Every reaction video, every podcast, every comment section became a therapy session nobody asked for. The knockout broke the illusion. The meltdown proved it was never real to begin with. What people witnessed wasn't just a fighter getting stopped. They watched 2 brothers lose complete control of a narrative they thought they owned forever. And that's exactly why this moment still haunts them. It wasn't just loud, it wasn't just viral, it was raw, messy, and real, in a way the Paul brand never allows. Anthony Joshua threw the punches, but the aftermath caused the real destruction. This fight will be remembered because it ripped the mask completely off the hype. Skill destroyed noise, experience crushed confidence, and reality showed up without any mercy. Logan's meltdown became a perfect example of what happens when ego gets louder than preparation, and family pride transforms into public pressure. The knockout wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. A clear line between influencer boxing and the real unforgiving world of professional heavyweights. The story arc was brutal and impossible to deny. Non-stop arrogance, a devastating knockout, a ringside breakdown, and quiet damage control afterward. The Paul brothers built an empire on staying in control, and now the whole thing is shaking. What comes next won't be quiet. It's going to be explosive.